नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स बुद्धं धम्मं संघं नमस्सामि. Hello friends, so today onward I am going to start Abhidhamma course for English students. Actually, a few years before, I wanted to learn Abhidhamma, but there was no teachers at that time. Then I heard that in Mahabodhi Society, a 10 days intensive Abhidhamma course is being conducted. So I reserved my seat and went there. Then one nun from Myanmar, her name is Venerable Uttamanyani, she conducted the course there. So I got a little bit idea of this Abhidhamma, because initially I tried to learn this Abhidhamma by my own means by learning all these books, but I didn't get any information exactly how to go on studying all these things. I didn't get information because it was totally confusing, especially the Patana as well as the other things that was there. It was totally confusing. It was full of chart as well as everything. So I decided that I should go for a class, and after going for this class I got this informations, and I got very little knowledge, but I want to share this knowledge with all of you so that you can study deeper and you can understand a lot regarding Abhidhamma, and you can have a good, very good knowledge of Abhidhamma. But it's only beginning. If you have a teacher, it's very easy for you to understand, because when I started there were so many words that is totally confusing. There was no one to really explain all those things. I tried in all YouTube videos and all this thing, but I didn't get much information. But after this class it became a bit of clear to me, and then I decided that I should give this knowledge to all of you. I'm not an expert, but I can give a fair idea regarding this Abhidhamma. So with that, let's begin. So first of all, the Buddha's teaching is called Tipitak. Tipitak means three baskets. So in these three baskets, there are three things. First is the Sutta Pitaka, then the next is Vinay Pitaka, and the third one is Abhidhamma Pitaka. So in this Sutta Pitaka, there are discourses given by the Buddha to the monks as well as nuns to the householders. So Sutta Pitaka is full of suttas, different types of suttas, and it is also subdivided into different categories. We are not going to that. Then the next is Vinay Pitaka. So in this Vinay Pitaka, all the rules and regulations should be followed by the monks. That is clearly explained. Because of different situations, different monks broke the precepts. Then the Buddha had to make some rules, and all these rules are detailed explained in Vinay Pitaka. And the next one is Abhidhamma Pitaka. The name of Abhidhamma Pitaka, Abhi means higher or good or great. So like that we can say. So Abhidhamma Pitaka. So greater Dhamma or exceptional Dhamma, or like that we can say. That is very great explanations given regarding the Dhamma, regarding its regarding the ultimate realities. So that is the topic of Abhidhamma. So today we are going to learn about Abhidhamma, and it's a very big book, and I have taken very small notes regarding that, and now I'll explain this, and after that I'll show the notes to you. This Abhidhamma Pitaka contains 7 treatises, and they are: first Dhamma Sangini, then the next is Vibhanga, third is Dhadukata, fourth is Puggala Panyati, fifth is Kathavattu, sixth is Yamaka, and seventh is Patana. So after this video, I'll show you the note also, so that it'll be very easy for you to write it down and if you want. And this Abhidhamma contains around 42,000 Dhamma Khandas. Dhamma Khanda means Dhamma explanation, around 42,000. And Vinaya and Sutta, both this together contains 21,000 plus 21,000, so total 42,000 Dhamma Khandas. So this Abhidhamma is a vast book, and a normal human being, it is very difficult to understand this Abhidhamma. So one venerable monk, Venerable Anuruddha Thera, he compiled all these things, Abhidhamma, into smaller one, and the name of that book is Abhidhammatta Sangaha. So we are getting the information from this Abhidhammatta Sangaha, because the original Abhidhamma is a very detailed one and it is very difficult to understand. So this Abhidhammatta Sangaha is a smaller one, so we can understand the realities in that. So what is this Abhidhamma contains? So actually Abhidhamma contains two things. It contains two realities. First is apparent realities and the second one is ultimate realities. So what is this apparent realities? Apparent reality means whatever we see outside, it is called apparent reality or conventional things. For example, we are seeing a human being outside and that's an apparent reality. We see an animals or we see so many things outside. It is an apparent reality. And it is called conventional or ordinary truth, and in Pali it is called Sammudisaccha ya Panyati or Panyati. It seems like that. And the ultimate reality is called Paramattha Saccha or Paramattha. Paramattha Saccha, that is the ultimate reality. For example, we can say that a human being exists. And if we keep on analyzing the human being, for example, we see a human being and we want to know who is the human beings. So is the eyes the human beings, or the nose the human being, or heart is the human beings? For example, if you take out the heart, again we implemented some other heart, still the person is living. We remove that lungs, we remove the kidney, still it is there. So if we cut open a human beings and scattered all these things differently, then we'll say that this lungs, it is not the human being. The heart, it is not a human being. The bone is not a human being. But altogether, it become a human beings. So that is the difference between this what is called this reality, apparent reality, as well as the ultimate reality. So same way, for example, we see a car. So if you ask what is that car, so people say that the car is a car. But if you keep on dismantling this car, you take out that engine separate, we take out the steering, we take out the seat, we take out the tires, we take out the body, and we scattered into different these things. Then if you ask someone else, is it the car? The people say it is not the car. Is the engine the car? People say it is not the car. So all together we give a name car. So same way, we human beings, if we analyze totally, there is no human being exists. Outside we see there is a human being, but it's not an ultimate truth. It is only an apparent truth. So there is a very good discussion went on between the King Milinda as well as the Arhat Nagasena. Nagasena was a well-known Arhat, fully enlightened one, and this King Milinda, he wanted to ask question to this Nagasena. So he put such a questions that he wanted to shut up the mouth of Nagasena, but Nagasena always answered correctly. So one day, so the book is called Milanda Panyapali, and if some atheist, they want to put up a very good questions to shut up the mouth of some people, they should first of all learn this thing, because to ask such a questions, we need to be much more intelligent than a normal person, because such a type of questions are there in the Milinda Panyapali. So if you want, you can refer that books. So one day the King Milinda went to the Nagasena in his chariot, and after stopping the chariot, the King Milinda went to the Nagasena and asked his name, Venerable Bhante, what's your name? So Nagasena replied, actually, I don't have any name, I don't exist, but the people say that I am Nagasena. So I too say that I am a Nagasena. So my name, people say it's Nagasena. So I have to say Nagasena, but in reality, the Nagasena is not existing. Then the King Milinda, he told him, so if you are not existing, who is accepting the meals? For example, you are given food as a donation. So who is accepting? Who is wearing the robe? And who is talking to me? And You say that you don't exist, but you do all these things. That means you are telling a lie. You are accepting the food, you are wearing the cloth, and you are doing everything, and you say that you didn't exist. That means you are telling lies. As a monk, you are not supposed to tell lies, and why did you tell the lies? So the king asked the Nagasena. Nagasena replied, uh, My lord, how did you come up to this place? And the king told that, I came by chariot. So he walked towards the chariot and shown, this is the chariot. Then the Nagasena asked the Milinda, is the horse the chariot? The king said, no. Is the wheel the chariot? The king said, no. Is the axle the chariot? The king said, no. Is the seat the chariot? The king said, no. Then what's chariot? All then you are telling that. Then this Nagasena told, you told that you came by chariot. Then we asked what is the chariot, you are not able to reply. That means you are telling a lie. Then the king understood. Okay. All together we give a name chariot, but if you take out the components separately, there is no chariot as such. It is a concept. Chariot is a concept. So like that. So this was the story. For example, so many of us, we think that we are a human being, we have this problem, that problem, I am that, I am this, like that people are thinking. But if they subdivide themselves, or they divide and see themselves, they'll see no reality. So that is a definition between this apparent reality as well as ultimate reality. For example, if you analyze a human being, we'll take out the heart, lungs, and everything separately. Then then we'll see all the small cells. Then again, if we divide, then we'll get atoms. Then again, if we divide, we'll get subatomic particles. So like that, it keeps on going. And the science has not found the ultimate reality so far, but the Buddha has found, and he told that the name of that ultimate thing is Attakalava. So we'll deal with that later. So there are four ultimate realities that we should understand. The first one is the rupa, or the body. For example, our body, it is called rupa. It is made of 28 type of sub things. That means the rupa is made of 28 kinds of things that will deal when the rupa comes. Then the next is chitta. Chitta means our mind. It is called mana, vijnana, awareness, whatever it is called, that is called chitta. The Pali word of mind is chitta. And the next one is chedasika. Chedasika means whatever arises in the mind, that is chedasika. There are total 52 chedasikas, and it is also called mental concomitants. That means it arises in the chittas. And the fourth one is nibbana. Nibbana means the extinction of all suffering. That is called nibbana. So that is also one of the ultimate realities. So there are four ultimate regarding the body, because it is made of 28 ultimate things. Then the chitta, there are different type of chittas. Then chedasika, that means whatever arises in the chitta, that is, or it is called mental concomitant. Then the fourth one is nibbana. So we are first is rupa, or the body, plus chitta and chedasika. Both together we call it nama, or the mind. So rupa as well as nama. Nama consists of chitta as well as chedasika plus nibbana. Nibbana means the state beyond this mind and body. That is called nibbana. And if we get the nibbana, we'll come out of all the suffering, we'll come out of all our problems. So that is why we should try to get the nibbana. And why we are not getting nibbana? Because there are three defilement that is causing problem for us. And the term of this defilement is very important in our future studies. And they are three things. Three defilements are there. First is greed. In Pali, it is called lobha. The second one is hatred. In Pali, it is called dosa. And the third one is delusions. And the Pali, it is called moha. Greed, lobha, means we like something. For example, if we find some good things and we want it more, that's good. So like that. So that is called lobha, like something. And hatred, we don't want something. The moment we see something, we don't want it. So that is called dosa. Delusion, moha means ignorance. Always we are ignorant. We don't know what is happening in our body as well as mind. Because of this moga, this lobha and dosa is arising, and due to that, we are in a cycle of vicious circle, and we don't know what is happening within us. So these defilements are going on. So we are making kammas, then we get future birth. But once we destroy this defilements, we'll get enlightenment. This nama always follows the rupa. This mind always follows the rupa. For example, we die, then our mind goes to the next body as per its kammas, then it goes to the next body. And why we are studying this Abhidhamma? Because we want to destroy the Sakkaya Ditthi. Sakkaya Ditthi is a term that is used in Pali. That means we started identifying ourselves as this body as well as mind. So this is a Sakkaya Ditthi. So it is a very wrong view. So because of this wrong view, we have identified ourselves with this body. So to destroy that, we need to study Abhidhamma. So once we study Abhidhamma, at the apparent level, at the outside level, we know, at the intellectual level, we know that we are not that. But to understand it deeply, we need to meditate. Mere study of the Abhidhamma is not enough. And for getting Nibbana, it is not essential to study this Abhidhamma. If you don't study also, you will get Nibbana. But if you don't practice, if you don't meditate, you are not going to get Nibbana. So that is very, very important. Moreover, if we study more of this Abhidhamma, become theoretical knowledge, then we'll get some unwholesome things like mana, that means pride and everything, and it stops from our progress. So if you want real enlightenment, so it is good to study Abhidhamma, and if you don't study also, you'll get Nibbana. But for that, you need to practice meditations. And one question to these atheist people, they says that there is no God or there's nothing like that. So just always ask these people, you just forget whatever you studied so far, because they have studied lots of books, and we should say that you forget everything, keep it everything aside. Just tell me one simple answer for my questions. What do you know about yourself from your own experience? For example, what do you know about yourself from your own experience? How your mind works, how your body works, and what's the interrelation between these two? You ask this question, he'll be perplexed because he don't have any answer for that, and he'll not be able to reply to that because he don't know the answer, because he always study outside, he never meditated inside, so he never know even the basic things about our mind as well as body. So that is the problem of these atheist people. So they should meditate and try to understand about themselves. And I'll give the note at the end, then you can take the notes. And one more thing is that if you want to know the Abhidhamma correctly, then it's better you have to take a Vipassana course. It's all over in India, and every country it is there. It is taught by S.N. Goenkaji, and he's a very nice teacher because he can explain things very simply, and within 10 days we'll understand the basics of this Buddhist teachings or the Dhamma teaching. Then you can learn this Abhidhamma, then it'll be very easy for you. And if you're not a practitioner of meditation, there's no use of studying Abhidhamma, because if you study, you won't understand, because it's only mere words and you don't understand the exact meaning. So once you don't understand the exact meaning, there is no use. For example, there you say that there is lobha and moha and dosa, and you have never experienced, so there's no use of studying Abhidhamma. So Abhidhamma is only for those people who are meditating, not for not meditators. So I'll show the notes now, and after that we'll go to the next class. The next classes regarding the Chitta, I'll make a separate video regarding that. Tipitak contains three things. First is Sutta Pitaka, then the next is Vinay Pitaka, and the third one is Abhidhamma Pitaka. Then the next is Abhidhamma contains 7 treatises. They are Dhamma Sangini, Vibhanga, Dhadukata, Puggala Panyati, Kadavattu, Yamaka, and Patthana. Abhidhamma contains 42,000 Dhamma Khandas, and Vinaya plus Sutta contains 21,000 plus 21,000, so total 42,000 Dhamma Khandas. Abhidhammatta Sangaha by Venerable Aniruddha Thera, that is the book. And the realities are two apparent realities, or conventional or ordinary truth. It is called Sammudhi Satcha or Panyati. And the next is ultimate realities or Paramatta Satcha or Paramatta. And next is four Paramatta ultimate realities are, first is Rupa. There are 28 type of Rupa. Then the next is Chittas, or it is also called Mana, Vijnana, awareness, etc. And the next is Chetasika, mental concomitants. There are 52 mental factors. And the fourth one is Nibbana, that means extinction of all sufferings. Rupa plus Nama is called human beings. So this Nama consists Chitta as well as Chetasika. And next is Nibbana. Defilements, there are three defilements that obstruct our views for Nibbana. They are greed or Lobha, hatred or Dosa, and delusions or Moha or ignorance. When we realize Nibbana, then no more rebirth. So only this much. So you can, these are the important notes you can note down, then you can use it for your study. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Please like it and share with your friends, Dhamma friends. Thank you.